The Italian Grand Prix saw the fifth consecutive win of Verstappen and the 11th total this season. The Dutchman is up to break many records, including that of most wins in one season, which currently sits at 13 wins achieved by both Vettel and Michael Schumacher. When an outsider would look at the race results, that person would argue that Red Bull has been dominating the majority of the season. However, it has been Ferrari's lack of strategy and reliability issues that completely threw away any championship aspirations. The strategic failures reached an all-time high when Ferrari put Leclerc on the hard tires during the Hungarian Grand Prix, which he was leading quite comfortably up until that point. However, ever since the summer break, Red Bull managed to further develop their car and currently has a straight-out pace advantage on every type of circuit at the moment. But lately, people not only think Red Bull to have a pace advantage on track, but also claim that the FIA plays into their favor. During the Dutch Grand Prix, there was a strange moment where Tsunoda initially stopped the car on track, eventually made it to the pits, and got out again and then had to retire the car on track, causing a virtual safety car. Besides theories that it was staged so Red Bull could win the race, many critics claimed that the FIA should adjust the rules to prevent a similar situation in the future. But not even 1 week later, the FIA was put under more pressure after they decided to end the Italian Grand Prix under the safety car. Unfortunately for Ricciardo, he had to retire his car after an engine failure. Fans from all over the world were furious and called out the FIA system was rigged and is meant to favor Verstappen. Most notorious was the boo sound from the many fans on track when Verstappen was interviewed and when he received the trophy. Ferrari's team boss, Mattia Binotto, openly criticized the FIA and demands changes to the system. One day after the Italian Grand Prix, all team bosses met to discuss sporting matters. Many teams felt the safety car should have ended earlier and the race should have ended under racing conditions. Drivers like Sainz, Perez, and Leclerc all felt they were denied a great opportunity for a better result. But could the safety car have ended earlier? What is the real reason Binotto is so mad at the FIA? What statement did the FIA make, and is the system really rigged? Let's find out. The Italian Grand Prix seemed to be an easy target for Verstappen, with a 15-second lead over Leclerc with 7 more laps to go. Prior to the race, fans had their hopes up that finally someone else could win a race after Verstappen got a 5-place grid penalty when he took his 5th internal combustion engine of the year. But by lap 3, the Dutchman was already in 2nd place, and within a couple laps more, he started to put pressure on Ferrari driver Leclerc. There was not much controversial going on during the race, besides a virtual safety car that ended too early for Ferrari to make their pit stop strategy work. However, by lap 47 out of 53, Daniel Ricciardo parked his car between turn 5 and 6 because of an engine failure. And this is where things got interesting. Monza is a long circuit with many car exit places in case a car comes at a standstill on track. Initially, the FIA and track marshals hoped they could quickly get the McLaren car off the track so the race could be resumed with a couple more laps to go. Unfortunately, the race ended behind a safety car, and many thought back to the controversial Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in 2021 and the 2021 Azerbaijan race. So what was so controversial in 2021? Let's start with the Azerbaijan race. Verstappen was comfortably leading the race until he got a flat tire on the straight and crashed hard into the wall. The amount of debris on track caused the race directors to call for a red flag with just 2 more laps to go. No one expected a restart of the race, but Masi, former race director, called for a full grid restart. After the race, he responded why he opted for a restart in the first place. At that point, in my opinion, it was the best option to suspend the race, clean everything up, and then have a race finish. Eventually, Perez won the race after Hamilton made a mistake with his brake bias setting and went straight in the first corner. Then, during the final race of the season, one of the most controversial FIA moments in the history of the sport happened. With just 5 laps to go, Latifi crashed into the wall at a narrow part of the track. Up until that moment, Hamilton was comfortably leading the race and was well on his way to claim an 8th world title and win the most titles in F1 history. Yet, the FIA decided to resume racing with just 1 more lap to go, which saw a dramatic end as Verstappen overtook Hamilton and claimed his 1st world title. But what was so controversial about the Abu Dhabi race? Under normal safety car procedures, all lapped cars are allowed to pass the front runners and the safety car when given the green signal. Normally, the safety car situation ends 1 lap after the lapped cars undid themselves. During the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the safety car came in at the same lap as the lapped cars were allowed to pass the front runners. But even more controversial was the fact that only the cars between Hamilton and Verstappen were allowed to unlap themselves to speed up the process, so the two front runners could decide the championship in the last lap. But if the FIA did everything they could last year to end the race under racing conditions, why did the Italian race end behind the safety car? After the Italian race, the FIA came out with a statement. While every effort was made to recover car number 3 quickly and resume racing, the situation developed and marshals were unable to put the car into neutral and push it into the escape road. As the safety of the recovery operation is our only priority and the incident was not significant enough to require a red flag, the race ended during the safety car following the procedures agreed between the FIA and all competitors. The timing of the safety car period within a race has no bearing on this procedure. But could the safety car have ended earlier? According to many drivers, including Leclerc, the track was clear to go one lap before the end of the race. However, the FIA decided to not take any risks. But Mattia Binotto thought differently about the situation. He criticized the stewards for lack of experience and said that the F1 deserves a better job. So what did he think the race directors could have done? In an interview with Motorsport.com, he said, "The safety car came out right in front of Russell, but it should have come out in front of Max, of course. Even with the safety car on track, I didn't see any issues clearing out the back runners from between the front runners and the safety car. We know that they have to drive a certain speed in spite of safety concerns. It was safe enough at that moment. How we have handled this situation was not the right way. This isn't good for the sport. After Abu Dhabi last year, we talked with many teams how to improve similar situations. The goal is to restart the race in a safe and fast way. The FIA did make changes, but the F1 deserves better. We purposely introduced a minimal lap time that drivers have to respect. They can't go full throttle if the rules don't allow it. Besides, we talk about F1 drivers. They are the best in the world. I don't see the risk. After Abu Dhabi, we agreed things have to go quicker. That didn't happen today." It is clear that Binotto did not like how the situation was handled. After the race, fans from all over the world shared their opinion on Twitter and Instagram. Many claimed the system is rigged and is in favor to help Verstappen win races and championships. But is the system really rigged? None other than Lewis Hamilton, who experienced one of the most controversial F1 moments in the history of the sport, has a clear opinion about what happened. In an interview with Sky Italy, he said, "It always brings back memories. This is how the rules should be, right? There is only one time in the history of the sport where they haven't done the rules like that, and that's the one where it changed the results of the championship. But it is what it is." No doubt that Abu Dhabi 2021 is still fresh in people's minds, and people have reason to question the FIA after the lack of clarity from the last year and a half. In the last 18 months, F1 experienced 3 different outcomes when a safety car had to come into play within the last 6 laps of a race. In Azerbaijan, they went for a full restart with 2 laps to go. Abu Dhabi saw a rolling restart with just 1 lap to go. And in Monza, they opted for an ending of the race under a safety car. Things are confusing, to say the least. What do you think is the right approach to end a race? Let me know in the comment section below.